Morning, folks. Today's soap is Mickey Lee Soapworks. This one here is called the Kraken. Um, some of the scent that you might be picking up off of a puck like this will be salt water or ocean water. Um, reason why I'm laughing, I tried this on Sunday. Noticed partway through the shave that I wasn't recording, so evidently I ran out of space on my storage card. So this is the second time I've gone through this. But anyway, this is great soap. It's not available anymore. You have to go to buy, sell, trade in order to find some. Top the shave off with some Lucky Tiger Aspen, and down here it gives you some kind of idea what the scent's going to be like, and it's a fresh, spicy, and aroma. It's similar to Aquavelva if you can the two colors there might be able to help you relate. Also, the got it whipped up in the travel scuttle from Crown King. Phoenix Artists and Accoutrements, whipped up with an older brush from Yaqi. This one here's got a cashmere knot in it, and it's whipped up a little on the wet side. It's starting to thicken up. I have to pour water to it. It whipped up pretty nice, pretty easy too. Just a really pleasant scent, especially for what was a Sunday, now a Monday morning. Shaver of the day. This is a Parker adjustable injector here. It's got a settings 1 through 5. It weighs about 1.25 ounces, and it's almost 5 inches in length. The underside of this is it is plastic, but as you run your finger down through here, you can feel the little ridges down through here, but when you get down to about this part right through here, it gets pretty grippy. In other words, the texture changes quite a bit right through here. You can feel a big difference down towards the bottom. It's like I say, I already had a go. I was 7 minutes in. You're going through the routine, and I just happened to see a notification just flash by, but I didn't have a chance to read what it was, and then I realized that I wasn't recording anymore. So anyway, yeah, it was kind of a fun Sunday morning. Thinking I'm doing a video when I realized that it had stopped recording on me. I have a link to this stuff down below, as well as Red Island Shaver. He did a video here recently with Mickey Lee Soapworks reunion. I don't have that one there. The first two soaps I bought from Mickey Lee Soapworks was the this one here, the Kraken and Drunken Goat. Still smells really good. This is the Christmas pre-shave cube from Phoenix Artists and Accoutrements. There, you might be able to see the imprint there. It is such a nice scent. It goes well with this. I mean, it doesn't match the scent by any means, but a nice soft scent. It's just perfect. But the shave today will be on setting 5 for all 3 passes. And since I did all 3 passes on setting 5 yesterday, when I thought I was recording, I can tell you that it's setting 5 is not overly aggressive. It also, at this price point of $30. I got it, like I said, I got a link down below. $30 is a pretty good price point. I mean, definitely hits most people's budget. Got a Personna blade in it. Be the second use today. Guess I ought to put some lather on there. But went through all 3 passes yesterday on setting 5, and it's just setting 5 is not overly aggressive by any means. So I think for some folks, in other words, it'll be a good setting to work with, especially if you use your progressions downwards or upwards, either way. I have no idea what the rest of the settings are. I haven't used them yet. Only setting 5. And there it is, I'm ready to go. Oh, I know what else, because I did it yesterday. I need to repeat it again today. Loading the blade. This is still an injector. It's got a lot of the same sort of issues with all the rest of the injectors from yesteryear. So what I think would help some folks, especially if you have an adjustable, is that you put this on the highest setting. So in other words, the the safety bar and the cap, if you will, spread apart as far as it'll go, so that as you're injecting the blade through there, if it should happen to try to go in there cattywampus, you have an opportunity to push it back up there so it doesn't ride on these stops right here and damaging the blade and making for a very sad shave. Just something I've noticed over the years messing with the injectors. Excuse me. As you can kind of tell, the angle's pretty well set for you, and if you get something relatively close to that, you're going to get the, I guess you might say, the shave that it was designed for. But this is a really easy shaver to use, in my opinion. And even on setting 5, I don't find it overly aggressive, wanting me to change the setting or anything like that. Setting 5 works well for me. Matter of fact, chances are most of my shaves, when I use this particular shaver, probably will be on setting 5. It hits the right spot for me. Now, for somebody starting out, this is definitely a great way to start, because I have a pretty good idea that the settings, the lower settings, will be easy for somebody to make an adjustment to. For somebody switching from a cartridge, it's going to be probably the just like it is for most shavers. You got to watch your pressure. It's not like a cartridge where you can put a lot of pressure on it. That's not going to be a good thing with a shaver like this. But I think it'll be an easy one for somebody to start out with, to learn with. Like I say, the angle's pretty easy to figure out. And at a $30 price point, near that price point there, hey, in other words, if you decide it's not for you, you're not going to be out a ton of money. In other words, out of $100 or so, this will be a shaver. I think if you put out your due diligence, you can get used to it. Like I say, I'm using a Personna blade. The local store, grocery store here, has shake blades. So in other words, it's easy for me to find a shake blade. Matter of fact, that's usually what I do find in a grocery store, as opposed to a Personna blade. I have to order those. But it is, this shaver's pretty cool. I'm quite alright with it. I think they did a good job in designing this one, where it's not, like I say, setting 5 is not overly aggressive, so that way the subsequent settings down below will work out well for folks. If you're looking for a real aggressive injector, go vintage, chic, and I think it's the E series. Yeah, there's a lot more blade feel on the E versus the setting 5 on this one here, across the grain. Still just it's very smooth. There's some feedback going across right through there, so my treble spot. Injectors usually do a pretty good job catching that for me for some reason. I don't know what it is about the injector that does that. And I think maybe it has to do with the fact that I'm able to go across that area at an angle, so that, in other words, it's catching the, I guess you might say, in that particular area a little bit more against the growth. This, like I say, 1.25 ounces in weight. So compare this to the supply injector. Yeah, the two aren't, weight-wise, they're not comparable. This one here is quite a bit lighter. But this is, it's just so nice to use. Especially if you're like a Sunday morning or a Monday morning and there might be a certain amount of distractions going on. It's not that you can't cut yourself, it's just you're going to have to work at it a little bit in order to get that to happen. Right through there. get that little spot right there. But this is just a really nice shaver. And like once again, at this price point, I think it's definitely a buy. Got to give it a try. If you had problems with injectors before, this one here just might be the one to do the trick for you. Especially if you're talking about nicks, cuts, and not a very smooth shave. I can imagine the rest of these settings down below would definitely help those folks out. Lather is this is a really nice shaving soap. Like I say, if you're looking for some, you'll have to do the buy sell trade, and I have not seen it on recently, so I don't know if it's going to be plentiful. I think most folks that have it are trying to hang on to it. Some of these scents are very popular. The two that I have, I'm pretty sure falls in that category. Just a little bit of feedback on the Against the Growth pass. You probably will want to whip your lather up a little bit wetter than what I've got right now, something a little bit closer to drippy, so it rinses out a little bit easier. This is close to being almost right now, since it's thickened up so much, it's almost like a paste. Takes a little bit of effort to rinse it out, in other words. Now as time goes on, we'll find out what it takes to keep it relatively clean. In other words, looking at the underside, I usually just use a Q-tip, in other words, a cotton swab, just to, wipe things down real quick at the end of my shaves, and that usually does okay. But with a safety razor that doesn't have plastic on it, throwing it in some very hot water, usually the soap will loosen up and it's easy just to wipe right on off. This having plastic on it, I'm not so sure how that's going to work. In other words, I wouldn't want to damage the plastic. Like I say, even at setting 5, I don't feel that it's overly aggressive. Very efficient on 5, it feels like. Which kind of got me thinking, it's probably something I need to do one of these days here pretty soon. Excuse me, a couple of different shaves. One, going back, I guess you might say what I refer to as the roots of shaving, in a way, is doing something that's more along the line of a budget shave. There's a number of shavers out there like this one here, $30 there, give or take a couple of dollars, and lower, that are good shavers. In other words, good daily drivers. That's not going to break the budget. And there's plenty of soap and aftershave out there to be choosing from. Like excuse me, the link I have down below for Lucky Tiger, it does give you some of the history of Lucky Tiger, and which is to me pretty interesting because it started in Kansas City, Missouri, not too far from here. And this particular container is what, 16 ounces if I remember right, and I think it's, depending on where you get it, you can get it from $8 to $10. That's pretty inexpensive. That's definitely in a budget range for sure, because 16 ounces, $10 an aftershave, yeah, that's a pretty good buy. And they've got this version here, Aspen, as well as Bay Rum. Now the other aftershave face tonic comes in a different container, and it's different all the way around in that it is a very nice aftershave. I really do enjoy that one there. It's a little bit more expensive, but the scent, what it does for my face, I really enjoy that one. That's my favorite there. Just can't ask for a better aftershave tonic than what Lucky Tiger has, and especially with that scent, it's very soft. I think they compare it to leather and a soft leather maybe. I can't remember exactly how it's worded. Um, at any rate, it's just one of those that's just very pleasant. Just a slight cooling effect. No stinging, none whatsoever. I mean, this is a great shave. Yesterday, like I say, I already went through this, and man, it's just awesome. I just whip out the shave. Don't even have to worry about the fact that it's on setting 5, and like I say, it's not overly aggressive. This will be a great one for a lot of folks that have had issues with injectors in the past. I think this one here just might do the trick because the settings will keep it mild enough where you were suffering from, nicks, cuts, irritation, or anything of the sort from previous injectors. This one here with the settings might help you out quite a bit. Next shave I'll go ahead and go from 5, 3, and 1 on the settings and be able to give a better idea of what the milder settings feel like, and how efficient or not so efficient. It depends on how it works out. That'll be in the next shave. And I did make more room on my memory card, so I'm not going to run out anytime soon. But boy, just face feels just wonderful. Should say this one here, this bottle here and this one, the Bay Rum has this kind of top. The other one has a plastic restrictor in the brown bottle, but it's very easy to control what's coming out of this bottle. And being a plastic bottle, you can kind of gauge how much you want to squirt out at one time. Definitely, man, this is, like I say, $8-10. This is really a great buy. Does well with the cooling effect also. Had a great shave. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's a Monday morning, so a little sleepy this morning. Stay safe, stay healthy, and sweet shades to you.